What to do when you have to speed things up, like royally? Well, that is what happened to me this week. So, like I told you before in one previous videos, that we are planning on selling the house or trying to sell the house or put it on market. And I had a plan for the whole month of February that I get everything neat and tidy and do the little bit of painting and what has to be done before we can put the house on market. And my husband does the floors and the moldings. But then something happened. We had done the floors and those are fine now, but then we had a letter that was put to our letterbox, and it says that, hello, we are interested in buying the house in the neighborhood. If your house is for sale or if you're thinking about selling your house, please contact us, like ASAP. Well, great. That's fine. That's marvelous. We would like to sell the house to somebody. Just comes along, and we don't have to advertise, and we don't have to give viewings or anything like that. My husband contacted them and they agreed that they would come to see the house on Monday. So I didn't have a month, I had 4 days. 4 days to get the house in order for it to be seen for somebody that wants to approximately buy it or is buying a house in this neighborhood. Well, what to do? First of all, of course, panic. Well, panic doesn't help. So I started to count things backwards. I always do that if I'm put in this kind of a tight spot. So they are coming on Monday, that I knew. So what can I do on Monday, or what are the things that I have to do on Monday? So I have to, of course, I have to go to work on Monday. So I have probably a couple of hours after work. I cannot neglect my work. It pays the whole shebang. But what do I have to do, or what are the last things to do? Of course, cleaning the kitchen counters and making the bed and lid dusting and take off all the dirty towels and put them on the washing machine and close the washing machine and not put it on, but put clean towels everywhere. So everything looks nice and tidy and clean. Nothing looks used. So that was the last thing I did. And of course, on Monday, I opened all the windows so it doesn't, you don't really notice that, how your house smells, because it's your smell. But it's better to be safe than sorry and really put all the windows open before they come. So those are the things that I can do on Monday. And then I have to move on Sunday. What can I do the day before the last day? Of course, that's the day of the cleaning. So vacuum cleaner and mopping and dusting and getting those nasty things that hang from the ceiling. Those that go back and forth with the current. So all those has to be taken away, and you cannot really do that before everything else is done. And on Sunday, I also had to reorganize our dining room, because our dining room had been a place where we have put all the renovating stuff, because it's always more practical to select one room and everything is there. So the floorings were in there, the molding was in there, the paints were in there, the plasters, all the gear that we needed wasn't. And of course we had to rent some, I don't even know what they are called, the tools, this kind of big and bulky and that give this hellish voice and sound when they use, but we had them, so we had to put all that stuff somewhere so we can reorganize the house elsewhere. And I was really grateful that we did the floorings in the weekend before for some miraculous reason, because we wouldn't have had the time to do the both in the same weekend. Of course, my husband was in charge of that, but I'm really careful of not pushing him too hard. He's this kind of type that he builds his energy and then starts to do, and then it's all kind of like maniac, like pace that he does things, and energy and force. But if that force starts to slowly evaporate, then I cannot push anymore. I cannot push forward. Then I have to just roll my sleeves and start to help whenever I can. And I can do pretty many things if I want to, if I have to. But of course, this wasn't a negative thing to do. This was very positive things to do. But when I said to my husband, "Are you kidding? They're coming in 4 days," we knew that we would be exhausted and it would be tough and tiring. But, well, those things I did on Sunday. And of course, I reserved some time on Sunday. If the painting job doesn't go well, then I have to repaint. And that's just a reality, and you just see when you go if you have to repaint or not. Like I told you in the video where I thought that what do I do this month, and it was a painting. But when I heard this thing on Wednesday evening, I realized that I have to cut my work day on Thursday. Otherwise, I cannot get anything done. So I went to work on 8, and then I got back on noon, and it was an empty house. So I started to paint. I paint the 4 walls that I had to paint, and I just started from the lightest and then go to darker and darker and darker, because the gear that we had gotten for the painting job didn't work. So I had to use the same brushes to all the walls. But it didn't matter because there was 4 colors, so I just took them from the lightest to darkest, and it worked out fine. But it was a tiring job. Of course, first working like in full speed for 4 hours and then painting the walls. But I wanted to paint them on Thursday, because if I have to repaint, I don't have very many days to repaint, because I have to always, like 24 hours before you see how the color is. And if there is, because there were stripes on the walls, the guys that painted the walls weren't very good, or they were a little bit lazy or drunk, and there were stripes on the walls, and that was something that I don't want to be visible, because it always you have the feeling that there is some problem with the ceiling if you have stripes on the walls. It looks like water has been running to the walls, and nobody buys a house with that kind of even notion in their mind. And of course, it's nice for us too that those walls are not striped anymore. But that I did on Thursday, and that day I skipped work for the afternoon, because this is important. This is extremely important. And I knew already that I wouldn't have the whole day on Friday, even if I would have skipped work all day. But I had promised to look after our grandson, because our daughter is going to work to this hospital, and she has to go and make all the preparations with them, and it was set for that day. So of course the baby came here. He's 6 months old, jolly, but there wasn't much that I can do with him. But I thought that I can rearrange the cabinets or the closets in the hallway, because I can put him on a fat boy to the hallway and then get stuff out and show to him, and hey, this is fun and this is fun, and he will be happy, because usually he is not happy. He wants to be held in somebody's lap on and probably walk around and that kind of things. But I think that went really well. I could organize the closets maybe 2 hours, yeah, because we have these closets in the hallway, and they are of course part of the deal, part of the apartment. So it's inevitable that if they won't, then somebody will open the closets and look, can I fit my stuff in here? So then everything has to be nicely enrolled and nicely neatly folded, and of course there was lots of stuff that was just pushed there. A lot of stuff from the kids. Old backpacks, old school books, old toys, old clothes. And then I had to, well, I tossed what I can, what was only mine, that I didn't use, that was somehow just forgotten to the closet, and then something for the Goodwill, and then something for the warehouse. And then I asked my daughter if I can throw out her old school books and old backpacks and all things that were there. And some she said that she is ready to let go. But I don't want to like force them to give up on things that they don't want to. I think that it's kind of cruel, and it's somehow like pushing them to grow older sooner than they are. We all know that there are toys with children, and even if they know that they are not going to play with Barbies anymore, they don't want to throw them away or give them to somebody else. Or it's always easier to give to somebody else than just to put on a garbage. But all the closets, so and of course the rest of the stuff that we don't use, we don't need, and the old toys of my daughters, I put to these containers and then took to the warehouse, which also took quite a lot of time. If you think that this is over 100 square meters, and how many things are here that don't look good. So we took everything on a warehouse, and it was quite an ordeal to go back and forth. And to that, I reserved time on Saturday because it was a lovely day, so I could walk outside. It wasn't raining or it wasn't terribly cold. But of course, it had to be done on Sunday. But I thought that Saturday I had to get that done, because then I don't have time on Sunday for that. And then our eldest came back and stayed to clean with the baby, because of course she felt bad that she knows how important this is for us, and she felt bad because she had taken time from us, so she tried to like make it up, and she really did help. She had this certain tasks that she did, and it was something that she could do with the baby. So I think that it worked out fine, although I was a little bit like spooked when I thought that I cannot have anything done on Friday, and I cannot work on Friday or just the morning and then clean to the evening. But of course, every day like was very long day. We just started in the morning when I said to my husband that this is us. This is us. So I get up, I'm on my nightie, and it's a very practical one. It's cotton, and it covers like relatively much of my body, and then I just start doing. I have a sandwich and I have a coffee, and then I just start doing, and then I do and do and do and do and do, and he does also. Like we just work. And then in the afternoon, when we were all hungry, then we order a pizza and we eat pizza or half of it, and then we continue working, and then we put the rest of the pizza in the oven in the evening, and then we eat that, and then we fall asleep. And next day the same. So we just do. And because I have the mind of this planner, so my husband knows that I have all the things planned. So when I have done this, then I do the next thing. And if our daughter is finished with the one thing, then I thought, okay, continue with this. And I have everything organized. Unfortunately, our youngest daughter had a really like tough week at school, so she didn't have much time to help. But I understand that, and this is a very important year because the grades that she has this year is very much an effect on the school that she ends up with the next year. So she helped already, yeah, of course, and she kept company for the baby and that sort of things, but she was mainly in her room and doing the school stuff. And my husband, of course, on Saturday, he puts the floor moldings to the rooms that were missing still floor moldings, which is like, it's stupid when you do a renovation and then you just get tired. And there are certain things that you just don't do, like this floor molding thing. It wasn't the whole house, thank God. It was only those walls that we changed. So if we took out the wall and put on a new wall, then there wasn't floor molding anymore. But that, of course, was go out and saw and come back and use this hell of a machine to get them to the floors. And my husband does things relatively well on his own, but of course there are things that he wants my opinion, or can I fix, or if there is a really tight spot, can I fix it with the plaster or silicone or something like that. So it took a little bit of negotiating after all, and my help. But of course we are in this together. Of course it's when you are doing something like really intensely and then something, well, honey, can you come and have a look? This is, oh my God, can't you decide on your own? But it's better to go. And that, I think, is one of our strengths, is that in this kind of situations, we don't fight. We don't start a fight, we just do. And we try to be as supportive to one another as we can. And we don't nag that, why did you do this like this, and so forth. And so the basic things were start counting from the ground zero. So when you have to have everything done, and then of course realize what you have to do next to have a time to do them again if necessary. So the painting jobs were the first that I did, although there was so much to be done. And if you don't have time for everything, then think about what you can leave out and not do. And I think that's one of the most I don't think most like the hardest things. I rather like keep on doing until the midnight than give up and leave something undone. And of course, if you have to buy something, then organize that really quickly and have somebody go and get it for you. For us, it was the bed covers. I have to say that I don't make my bed. I just like put the linen straight, because I have always thought, I hated when I was a child when I had to make my bed. So I don't make my bed. I just always thought that if I have a pretty linens, then I don't have to make my bed. And that's how I have lived until I was selling my house. And now I had to get a bed cover. And well, I just reorganized the pillows around, because I don't have any throw pillows on my bed either. But that was something that I had my husband pick up when he got back from the work, and I just had him a picture message. So get this one. And he got it. But that was also something to do with the last minute. But those are the most important things, because if you don't organize, then you end up doing wrong things, and then you end up doing the things that you should have done at like the first minute. If I had painted this on Sunday, what then? Well, first of all, the paint would have been, they could have been able to smell that paint, and that's not nice. And that would have told that there is something wrong, because we have been painting the day before. And if it has needed a repaint, then there wouldn't have been time for repaint. But we got everything ready before they came. And I'm really grateful of that. And I really hope they have 2 weeks to consider. And after that, we put this on market on public sale. But fingers crossed, if they buy or if they pay us the amount of money that we want from this house, then I just thank my luck. But I try to insert some pictures to here about what we have done, and you can see. But that was the thing of me speeding up things. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.